All right, and the third example is going to be doing some calculations. This again is a newer business rule function. So if you've been using Creatio for more than say a year or so, you probably have heard that this was new and added to the product. So this is the ability to do some basic calculations that update when your business rule logic is met. So in this case, our if conditions are going to tell Creatio when to recalculate the value of our calculated field. So the examples that I'm going to do here are some examples in the opportunity products or quoting functionality in Creatio. That functionality by default doesn't have any sort of discounting function. It's something that I had to build recently for one of our customers, and I thought it was a great example. So working in this products or opportunity products detail within the opportunity products, so within the opportunity section. So we're going to go into our detail setup to set up this business rule, or a series of business rules really. And again, I've done a little bit of pre-work here. I've already created some fields on the page that we're going to add these calculations to. So we'll take a quick look at the page here. These three fields over here on the right are custom fields that I've added. So we're going to allow the user to input a discount percentage, calculate how many dollars that discount translates to using the price and the discount percent, calculate an adjusted item price, the standard price minus the discount price. And then we're going to update how the amount is calculated. By default, it's price times quantity, but we want to do the adjusted price times the quantity. And you'll get to hear me say all that again as I build each rule. So if that was really fast, I'm sorry. So the first thing that we'll need to discount is, or calculate, is how many dollars our discount should be. So for these business rules, we're going to be using this last action type, setting a field value. It's going to ask us which field we want this calculation to go into, so our discount dollars, and then how to do this calculation. And it's got a nice little formula builder we can use for that. To calculate how many dollars our discount is, we're going to take our discount percentage, divide it by 100, turn it into a decimal, and then multiply that times our standard price. So that will tell us how many dollars our discount is. So if we had, say, a 5% discount, multiplying 0.05 times the price, we'll figure out what that discount amount is. You can see I'm using the parameter section here. This is going to have a list of all of my fields that are available. In this case, I'm doing some math here, so it's going to only give me certain types of fields. It's not necessarily giving me every field that's available. There are some functions that are built in here as well, specifically around working with dates. So if you need to do like the difference between a couple of dates, for example, or adding values to dates, they have functions built in for that. In the if part of our business rule, we need to define all of the situations when we want this discount dollars amount to be recalculated. So we want this to calculate if, for example, a discount percentage is filled in or changed. And so we're going to say anytime that discount percentage is filled in, we want to recalculate the discount dollars. We're also going to want to do that if the price changes, or the price is driven off of a product field being selected. So if that product is changed, if I switch which product I'm including in the quote, we'll have to recalculate that discount as well. So here's a situation where I want to use that or logic. If any of these three fields gets filled in, we want to recalculate the discount dollars. It's always going to be important that at minimum, the fields that I'm using in my formula, if those change, we're going to want to recalculate. So moving on to our second function here that we want to calculate, that was our adjusted item price. So this time what we're going to do is take our starting price and subtract our discount dollars to calculate what the new price is going to be. One thing I figured out while I was building this for one of our customers is that these functions don't automatically cascade. So you have to make sure your conditions are inclusive of all of the situations that might cause us to change. So not only if the price changes or if the discount dollars change, but also if the things that might trigger the discount dollars to change, which was also the product or the discount amount, discount percentage. Essentially, it doesn't cascade because this is happening automatically. And again, business rules are client side. So if the discount percentage changes, this gets recalculated, but it doesn't automatically trigger the secondary calculation unless I also have the initial trigger defined in my conditions here. So it doesn't kind of cascade from one field to the next. And so in this scenario where I've got multiple calculations driven off of each other, it's really important that I'm kind of adding in all of those conditions over time to make sure that my calculations are updated when I want them to be. So I'm going to do one final calculation here, which is to figure out the overall price for this line on my quote, which means I need to multiply the quantity that are being ordered times that adjusted item price. And again, my conditions here are going to be additive, so I'm going to have a whole bunch of conditions like the product is filled in, or the discount percentage is filled in, or the quantity is filled in. And then depending on whether I'm letting users change things like the discount dollars directly, or if I'm only driving it off the discount percentage, I may not need to allow them to fill in things like the adjusted item price, the discount dollars. Those might be calculated only, in which case I wouldn't have to include them in my conditions there. If I did want them to be calculated only, I would do that by making those fields read only back in my page. So in my field configurations, I could set the field as read only, and that way the user can't directly edit those fields. All right, let's see if I remember to get everything right on those business rules. So if I come over here now to my, let me refresh the page too. I forgot to do that. All right, I'm going to cancel back out of here, refresh the page, and try that again. So now if I go to add a product to my opportunity to quote it, I'll just pick something at random here. It's going to pull the price in, and I've got the ability to put in a discount percent. So I'm going to do, say, a 10% discount. It's going to calculate, there we go, what that means in terms of my per item discount, what that means as my actual per item price then. And then right now I only have one in here, so my price matches. But if I were to give myself 10 of these in my quote, it would then multiply that quantity times that adjusted price to get my amount. And then, like I said, depending on whether or not you wanted to allow users to override, these particular fields, I did not put logic in, I don't think, to make them read only, but in real world, I probably would have at least this one, if not also this one. But I could go ahead and override that, and it's going to recalculate these bottom two using that adjusted logic because I told it to trigger off of this field. Okay, hopefully that all makes sense.